Good morning and welcome back to the very last American history lecture. So today we're going to deal with the dropping of the atomic bombs on Japan. In order to go back and actually take a look at the reasons why Truman's going to decide to drop the bomb, you need to take a look at the last two island invasions of Okinawa and Iwo Jima. Both of these islands were thought to be basically secured by the United States. It would be easy invasions. On both of these islands, you're going to find out that there are fortifications built by the Japanese army that's going to be basically hiding hundreds of thousands of soldiers, and we don't really truly know if the island hopping method is now going to work. So now we are also guessing where the Japanese army is. Before we were almost 100% certain with the breaking of the codes by the Navajo Indians, but now we are not 100% sure where the Japanese army is because our aerial shots are not correct because of all these underground bunkers. While we were trying to deal with trying to stop the war in Europe and also kind of dealing with the beginnings of the war in the Pacific, you do have the development by U.S. allies and also Germany attempting to develop a new weapon, which is the atomic bomb. The belief behind the atomic bomb is that you would have one weapon that would actually cause mass destruction and would totally and completely cripple your enemy, forcing your enemy to immediately surrender and therefore saving lives of military. For the case of Japan, again, after the two invasions of Iwo Jima and also Okinawa, it becomes clear that any type of sea to land invasion is going to result in the loss of hundreds of thousands of soldiers. It was believed that over 50,000 soldiers possibly would die if we did use the land-sea invasion of Japan. So there was now a functional bomb that was an alternative. The bomb is actually going to be created under the Manhattan Project, which was a secret project to develop the atomic weapon. That is actually going to be done by J. Robert Oppenheimer, who's going to be the creator of the atomic bomb. Most of the things that you see here are going to be done out in the West Coast. It's actually going to be done in New Mexico and Arizona. So Los Alamos is going to be the laboratory in New Mexico where the vast majority of the research is going to be conducted. There's going to be lots of atomic bomb testing on small scale and then eventually on a large scale one with the Trinity bomb on July 16th of 1945. Once a Trinity bomb is actually detonated and you see on the first time the potential of large-scale destruction that this bomb could cause, you do have many scientists start to urge President Truman not to actually use the bomb. Now, the question is, didn't the scientists know? And the answer is no, they didn't. The scientists did not exactly know the destruction that would be caused by these bombs. They knew the potential for destruction, but they had not actually seen it until you had this first large-scale detonation. So with this first large-scale detonation, they are going to continue on developing the bomb, and there's going to be two different bombs that are going to be developed. The first one's going to be Little Boy, which is a uranium-based bomb, and then you're also going to have Fat Man, which is going to be a plutonium-based bomb. Now I have the bombs. They are made. We know that they can function. We know we can detonate them. We know that it can potentially cause a lot of destruction, but we are still not 100% sure that we should use the bombs. The land invasion would cost a lot of lives. It would cost a lot of U.S. soldiers and allied lives. However, there might be a potential that Japan might actually surrender. So in Potsdam, which is going to be the European peace treaty that's going to be signed after the European theater is done, there's going to be a part of it that deals with Japan. And basically under Potsdam, they're going to say that Japan needs to become a democratic nation. The new government is not going to have a place for the emperor, and Japan is going to be offered the opportunity to surrender to the Allies before any type of invasion would occur. Japan is going to be given 48 hours to make a decision about surrendering, and Japan does not surrender. At this point, they don't know the bomb exists. They know that there's a threat of complete and total and ultimate destruction, but you've never seen a bomb like this used before, so you don't truly know what complete and ultimate destruction actually is going to be. All right, so on August 6th of 1945, the Enola Gay is going to be the plane that's going to usher in the nuclear age. So the crew of the Enola Gay are going to have the Little Boy on it, which again is the uranium-based bomb, and they're going to drop the bomb on Hiroshima. You're going to see 80,000 people instantly killed with the dropping of the bomb. The vast majority of the city is going to be totally, completely destroyed. The detonation of this bomb actually is going to happen in the air, so you don't have a lot of ground ground radiation, but you do have ground radiation and water radiation. So Hiroshima is going to have years afterwards about health issues, dealing with cancers, dealing with tumors, and dealing with birth defects because people have been exposed to a large amount of radiation. Japan is then going to be issued again another ultimatum, surrender, and again you're going to force complete and ultimate destruction. Most of the Japanese military at this point do not wish to surrender. Again, that goes against the code of Bushido, and the thought is that they can't possibly have another bomb like that, which again is not going to be correct. So on August 9th of 1945, Fat Man is going to be dropped on Nagasaki. It is going to be a different bomb, a different type of bomb. Fat Man is going to be a plutonium-based bomb. It does detonate on the ground. It is going to cause a lot of destruction, and you're going to see that 30,000 people are going to instantly be killed in Nagasaki. After the dropping of both of the atomic bombs, Japan is going to decide to surrender to the Allies. So on August 15th of 1945, it is going to be VJ Day, which is victory in Japan. The war is very costly, the same we see in World War I. This was an extremely costly war in terms of human lives. You have over 50 million soldiers that are going to be killed and over 500,000 civilians that are going to be killed during World War II. What you see as the aftermath of World War II is going to be entirely different than what happened after World War I. World War II is going to be, we need to make sure this war does not happen again. There is not a thought of punishment of the Axis powers. Now this is a thought of how do we make these countries democratic, how do we restore their economic systems, how do we forgive and move on. If countries are not going to be able to forgive and move on, then World War III is going to happen. So we are going to start to see when you guys move on to World Cultures next year and you deal with World War II on Japan, taking a look at what happens after the war and trying to establish what hopefully for everyone's sake is going to be a lasting peace.